Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to Perky Collar, and I'm your host, David M. Frankel. And today I have a very special guest, Louis Sheppard from Direct Cellars. And
Hello. How you feeling?
Thank you for coming today.
Oh, not a problem. This is fun. Radio is fun for me.
I'm glad to hear it. We're about to have some fun, and you're going to have fun with us. So thanks for tuning in. So Louis, tell us a little bit about your company, Direct Cellars. How does it work, and why did you get started?
Direct Cellars is basically a wine club.
Okay.
Now,
wine as in W-I-N-E.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
so
yes.
My wife joined the wine club a long time ago, and all her friends joined it too. And you just wine
and that's all they do. And that's what
to get out your system. That's fine.
You got to look at what wine is all about. Wine is basically really, really simple. I call it the accessories to a great suit. You have a perfect business for you, what you do. You got all the accessories to make a suit pop, to make a shirt pop. That's what wine is. Wine could be done for anything. So let's say if we're out and about, or we're at the women's out the house, or let's go to a book club. Well, okay, you have a book club, you start drinking wine.
Right.
So you just add a little bit things better to it when you start drinking wine. Red, white, it doesn't matter. It just relax you. Wine is not really supposed to get you drunk. It's just supposed to get you relaxed, have a good time, and really just open a conversation. That's what wine is. So when I decided to partner up with Direct Cellars Wine Club, and it was really more because of my wife, because she is the wine drinker of the family. And with her being a wine drinker of the family, and it's so funny because I got approached about a business, and she said, Lou, think about it, because you do sales and this is your world. Just take a look at it. So when I finally took a look at it, she said one thing to me. She said, think about it. We go to a Catholic church. And at the time we was living in Boise, and all the events that we've been to at a Catholic church was surrounded by bottles of wine. Never thought about it before, and it's just like, wow, this is a lot of wine here. So February I started the business. It just made sense to be a part of a wine club. It's an online wine club. It started in 2014. They added a component for individuals like myself, a direct sales to it, and it just took off from there. I moved here, living in Boise for 14 years. I'm originally from New York, but I decided to move to the Charlotte area. So I stopped the business for about 2 months because I knew, nope, we're about to move. Let me think about the house, selling the house, and doing all that good stuff. But from there, when I came here, July 2nd, now, mind you, July 2nd, we left on the 27th of June. So it was a 6-day trip, a 10-day trip in 6 states.
Wow.
And when we came down here, I knew from day one, this is exactly what I was going to do, knowing that individuals love drinking wine. Now, the beauty of what our wine club is getting your wine directly right to your front door. Why most people who drink wine, or your average people, I'm not going to say most, but your average wine drinkers or your beginning wine drinkers, no one really knows what they're going to get. No one really knows. You go to the retail store, you look at the label. Oh, this is a cute label. Oh, this is a cute label.
That's good marketing.
Yeah. Whichever is the cutest label, that's what you usually drink.
Right.
But sometimes 9 out of 10 times, it's not always the best wine. So what we tend to do is, something, why don't we give you, here's our wine of the month, this one. Tell me how you think about it. What do you like about it? And then just go from there. And every single month, you get something different. Now, if you're an average or a beginning wine drinker and you want to enhance your palate, perfect. If you're a wine connoisseur that knows your wine, a wine club might not be good for you, because this is a mystery wine, but you already know what you like. You already know if you like your dry, you like your sweet, you like the harsh rye, you like the soft wine. You already know all of that. So you wouldn't usually have a wine club. When I first started the business, one of my colleagues, when I used to be in corporate America, he told me, I spoke to him because he was a wine guy, He just bought at that time 3 bottles of wine for $1,300. He's a $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 right there. And he's been into wine for about 25 years. And he said, Lou, when I first started drinking wine, I started off with about 5 or 6 wine clubs because you cannot go to the retails. If you're trying to drink wine and get the real good one, you cannot do it just going to your average retail store. You have to be a part of a wine club because it's too many. We have over 2,000 wineries that we get wine from. Wow. And these are not the big wineries. These are some of the smaller ones that can't take their business to a retail store or Wine & More or a supermarket because they don't have the inventory for that. So they'll have the smaller, they'll go to a wine club and say, okay, we can house this many people, but we just can't do, 800, 80 cases.
For the Harris Teeters and
yes,
of the world.
They can't do that. So this is a great way to learn about have great wine for individuals that's just trying to learn about it or get a better knowledge of it, because what we do every single month, you get a great premium wine, and at the same time, you get a tasting note. So you know the region, what year, where it come from, what it pairs with. It talks about the region. You'll get all of that just by a simple, one pager of exactly what this wine is. So when I do my wine socials, I always have my tasting notes, and I just kind of break down what this wine is. That's what the part of being a part of this wine club, and I'm fortunate to be one of, it's only about 8 or 9 of us that's out in the Charlotte market. Right. That's trying to build it and introduce people to different wines.
And how do people find you?
The best way to find me is online. You could go right to the website is directcellars.com/DC Lifestyle. /DC Lifestyle. That's my personal website. You can find me on Facebook under Louis Sheppard, my Instagram, LJ Sheppard, my Facebook page, LJ Official. So you can find me there. My email is ljsheppard4@gmail.com. So those are great ways to look me up. But if you want to get directly right to the source and want to know exactly what Direct Cellars is directcellars.com/DC Lifestyle, and it'll take you right to the page.
Excellent. So I'm going to give you a tough question.
Oh, here we go.
Can you stereotype who's going to drink what kind of wine just by looking at them?
No.
No, you can't.
No, I can't do that at all.
Stereotype people based on their age or gender, ethnic background as to what kind of wines they most likely would like.
You can't do that, but I can break down some of the numbers for you. 2015 was the first year that millennials, so we're talking anywhere 18 to 35, but
21,
since that's what I was about to say. Since we are drinking, that's what we're saying, 21. But all those millennials, though, that's where they range. But 21 and older to 35.
Louis, you realize, right?
I know this is your second one, your first one. So 21 to 35. They are drinking and consuming more wine than the baby boomers.
Wow.
Now, just think about that.
More pressure, I guess.
Well, the way how I looked at it, I'm starting to notice the baby boomers starting to die off and they already know their palate. They already know what they're drinking, and the millennials are just getting into it. And now they're not drinking wine like their parents used to. They're drinking wine. The old school way was, where did it come from? What region? Tell me about the grape. The new school way is more of how cool it is. And that's how they're drinking wine. They want to be exclusive. They want to drink wine that nobody else is getting. Uh-huh. Look where I got this from. So if you get it from a retail place, you're not really being exclusive.
No, exactly.
Because what do you think the first place is going to go on?
Right.
Instagram, all the social media out there. They're going to show, look what I got. Where'd you get it from? You should be over here. Exactly. So it's all that exclusivity that individuals are looking at their, drinking wine now in that generation. Even when you say even by race, that's even, I could go into that level when I see when I see the industry, sometimes the industry, when it comes to wine, always doesn't talk to Black American. Because most of the time they do, it's more of the sweet wine. Well, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to introduce you and expand your palate. Because if you like a sweet wine is an introductory of getting into wine drinking.
Gotcha.
Now, the reason why it's sweet, because if you start off with a dry wine, a hard Merlot, or something that it might, when you taste it, it might taste bitter to you, you're never going to get back into wine again, because you already know that tastes nasty. But if I could give you something that almost tastes like Kool-Aid, I kind of like wine.
Like a wine cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get into that. Let me see what that is all about. So that's what the sweet wine is. So, but my job, we don't usually do sweet wines. What we want to do is to expand your palate outside of the sweet wine. Okay. So if we can expand that palate to, say, to the Pinot Noir, if we could go on that level, if we could go into to Merlot or the Cab, let's take you up to that next level of wine drinking.
So that's what you recommend starting. So if I'm a listener right now and I'm not a wine drinker, but you're now inspiring me to drink my first glass of wine tonight, or it's been a month or 2 months or 6 months, where should I start? I should start with one of those you just mentioned? Or
if you getting started.
And this is male or female? Doesn't matter?
Male or female. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You could, if you're getting started, go into the sweet wine.
Okay.
But I say don't stay there, because it's you'll do the sweet wine and you'll like it, but that is just the beginning. Okay. That is just here's the training wheels. Let me give you something that you like. Okay. Once you like it, okay, now let me take you to the next level. So I always look at it. You got to look. I like baseball.
Sure.
So, but before you get to the majors, you got to go through the minor leagues.
Makes sense.
So you got single A, triple A, single A, double A, triple A, then the majors. That's where you want to. So you could have your sweet wine that might be a single A, then just move up to all the sweet levels, and then say, okay, let me play in the majors now, because I like the taste of wine. I like where this is going. Okay, now let me put you into the big leagues.
So if we do a Louis recommended single A baseball starting wine, what would you recommend?
There's
like starting wine, a brand and a type of wine.
Go with the white wine. Go to any white wine. Any white wine, because that's how I started. My wife introduced me to wine by doing white wine. I didn't even go into the red sweet wine. I went into white wine. Okay. So any white wine will get you started, because what it is, it's light.
Gotcha.
It's not hard. You could drink white wine with mostly with a lot of different things out there, seafood, things that light.
That was my next question. What should I eat with it?
Yeah, you want seafood,
nice bottle of wine,
maybe even a baked chicken. You could do things like that. So just think about it as, if you do you like not the red grapes, the green grapes.
We do.
If you're eating green grapes, that's white wine. Okay. So just think about it like that. If you like green grapes, what do you want to have with some green grapes?
Gotcha.
And then the red grapes are a little bit harder when you eat them. They're good and you take them, but just look at it like that. So mostly your white wines is the summertime wine.
Gotcha.
You're going out, the summertime. Yeah, you want to keep it light. You might be with at a barbecue with the kids, or just at the park with the kids, and you got a nice white wine. Summer, the sun is out there, and then
casual sipping wine.
Yeah, simple. Yes,
a bottle wine.
Yes,
type consumption.
Exactly. At night, that's when you crack open your reds.
Okay, so that's where we're going to go.
That's where the dinner.
Single A to double A.
Yep.
Double A, we're going to go to reds.
Yeah. Well, you could go into the majors with the reds. You could go right into the majors with red, because there's a whole bunch of different reds out there. There's, you got your lighter reds or you got your harder reds. So if you're going into the majors, just figure out which red do you like.
Where should you start?
Pinot Noir.
If you've been in the single A world of white wines, and I'm sure some of your listeners out there, all you drink is white wine, and you're afraid of red wine. So today we're hopefully going to inspire you to try a red wine.
Pinot Noir.
And Louis right now is going to tell us where to start. If you're going to start red, don't be intimidated.
Yeah, don't be intimidated.
Louis is going to tell
don't
you.
Don't be scared.
You're going to jump into the red. Don't jump head first.
Yes, don't. Pinot Noir. It's a very light. It's a light. If you want to do it, if you want to be bold, go with the Merlot. Or it's going to be a little bit harder. But Pinot Noir is where I would recommend individuals that's okay, I like white wine. Let me try some red because the red is is nice and light and smooth. Okay. And you want something smooth going out. There's some that's gonna be hard going out. The Merlot sometimes it's hard going down, like ooh. Right. And then you can feel it on the back of you can feel it at the back of your throat. You want something that when you drink it, sip it, it just goes right down. There's not gonna be a whole bunch of bitter aftertaste. So a Pinot Noir is definitely where I would recommend individuals to start off with red. But your white wines, I would say those are all your minor leagues. That's just getting you introduced. So anything in whites, to me, that's what I'm recommending. Somebody else might just love whites all day long, and that could be their majors. But for myself, all the minor leagues is the white wine. Okay. But the reds, that's now you're playing in the ball game.
Excellent. So does the food change once you go from white to red? Does the type of food you serve with it change as well?
A lot of reds serve well with meat. Okay. The harder cooked meat, the well done, that's when you go into your Cabernets, your Syrahs, or Cabernet Syrahs, or the Merlots. That's where you can actually say, okay, I want a nice steak. You're going in that direction. You're definitely going in that direction without a shadow of a doubt. Now, the thing with wine, most people don't realize, especially when it comes to food, because I didn't realize this until I started drinking wine with food. Food is good. Food. Everybody can eat food. When you drink it with a nice wine, that food that was normal when you was eating it turns into a whole nother ball game. It's an orgasm in your mouth, like, oh wow, this is great, because that's what wine is. Like I said before, it's an accessory. Mm-hmm. All it is accessory. So even with food, you're just adding that a little bit extra to enhance that food. Now you're going to taste all the fragrance in the food. That's what wine is. You have a chocolate. Women love chocolate. You have a nice chocolate with a nice red wine. Okay. In that same vein. That chocolate is not just going to taste like chocolate. That chocolate is going to taste 100 times better because it changed the flavor in it. That's what you want to do. That's what you have to think about. I don't want to just drink wine to get drunk. That's not really the purpose. Right. The purpose of it is to enhance whatever you're doing. Either, one is if I'm selling it the way I'm doing, or enhancing your food. It's just added value to what you're already currently doing. If you're eating steak, add a nice red wine to it. When you go to your restaurant, most top-notch restaurants that has a wine cellar is going to have a sommelier. And that person is an expert in wine. They have a test, and I definitely recommend anybody to watch it. There's a documentary called Somm, and they break down what a sommelier has to do for a test, and it takes a year for studying. Wow. So just imagine just drinking wine every single day. Right. Because they have to know the region, know the year, what it tastes like, where it comes from. They have to know everything just by tasting it. And they'll get 6 glasses, and all you do is just taste each one of them. And then after they taste it, they got to tell the master, what wine is this. Wow. It's an amazing some of the palate. If you got a cold, yes. For sure. If you got a cold, you can't do it because you can't smell anything. Makes sense. So if you're at a restaurant, ask, I want to speak to the somm. They're usually there, and they will recommend this wine is perfect for this. This wine is perfect for this, because they need to know. They're going to have to know. They have no doubt in my mind. They're going to tell you the best food to go with that type of wine. Excellent. That's what they do. That's their whole job. And gentlemen, I'm not sure you heard what Louis said a couple seconds ago. He said if you're going to buy chocolate, the red wine makes the chocolate taste better. So guys, if you can't buy a very expensive box of chocolate, it can't be Godiva, or it can't be a expensive type of chocolate, get a bottle of red wine with it. It'll make her feel like she's eating a Godiva chocolate. Yes. So that's a great little tip to save you some money, and for her to think, man, this is the best chocolate I've ever had. Yes. Thank you, honey, and life is good at that point. I would agree. any chocolate, any nice chocolate, you add wine to it, it's going to feel 10 times better.
Excellent.
So I'm glad you picked that one up.
I didn't miss anything. I'm always trying to find ways to make things better.
How long have you been married?
Way too long. Since 99.
Yeah, so you get it.
A little over 18 years.
You get it.
Soon. So we got to find ways to make everything
yes.
feel better and seem more amazing.
I agree.
So tell me a little bit about Louis himself. So obviously you got into the Direct Cellars business. What did you do before this?
I was prior to financial advisor, I was a radio DJ.
Oh, okay, very good. So
radio,
back home.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why this is easy. Radio DJ, from radio DJ to financial advisor for the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years. Started at Edward Jones and Wells Fargo. And a funny thing happened when I gained a bunch of weight and lost a bunch of weight, and then a different focus came into my life. I ballooned up to about 350 pounds, and I lost 120 in a 15-month period.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. All because of my best friend passed away of a heart attack, and he was 37, and at the time I was 39. So once that came into my life, I knew I had to make a change, not only in career-wise, but just in a different direction. I figured anyone who does financial services is a great business, but I started caring more about people money than they did.
Sure.
And that's when I knew, okay, I have to leave. Because I'm the one that's not sleeping at night, knowing that, oh, we could do this with your investment. Let's do that with your investment. And you don't even want to do a meeting with me. You don't want to do your annual meeting. Okay, we got a problem, man. So that's why I decided to walk away from corporate America and become an entrepreneur.
So Direct Cellars is your full-time job?
Yes.
Now, how scary was it to make that leap of faith from corporate America, comfortable 9 to 5, job to entrepreneurship where there are really no hours anymore?
Yes.
You eat what you kill, so to speak.
So you're about to make me tear up because it is. It's a nerve-wracking. It's definitely nerve-wracking with a wife and 2 kids, and you always want to do things that's right, but sometimes everybody's not going to see it. And you just have to hold on to the boat. Even when we moved out here, it was more of a leap of faith. And, my wife is from Idaho, and that's her home, and my home is New York, but we chose Charlotte to be, and not to say in the middle, but at least we chose Charlotte to give my kids more diversity in their lives. And moving down here, somebody had to sit down in a boat and hold the boat together. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the wife wants to stand up and say, no, this might not be the right thing. So like, we'll be all right. And
sit down, honey.
Yeah, don't rock the boat. Right. I'm holding it as hard as I can. So, but once she started, the summer passed, the kids got back in school, she got the job, then things started calming down and say, this is the direction where we want to go. You identify your target market. I know exactly, the target market, so that makes it a lot easier. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, we kind of go into a shotgun mode and hit anything, sell to anything that's out there. Sure. Anybody walking the street will sell to. But once you get that target market and you know exactly who you're looking for and who you want to talk to and want to sell, then that's more of a laser focus and say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is who I'm looking for. This is the person I want to either, one, be a part of my business, or someone who drinking wine. So I'm always looking for one or the other. I'm always looking for other partners to partner up with me that you don't always have to do a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is a good starting point.
Right.
Learn how to sell. Learn. Everything you do is just learn from 9 to 5. But you have to evolve and say, okay, I'm gonna take that 9 to 5 and now I'm gonna become an owner. What am I going to own? You got to find opportunities out there. I tell myself that I feel like I'm the opportunity expert, because I look for opportunities all day long, not just with business, but in life, how to enhance life better. So I'm the opportunity expert because those opportunities, they're always hidden or they're as small as a mustard seed, as the Bible said, they're small as a mustard seed, and you have to see that and say, okay, what can I turn that mustard seed into? Because when you think about it, a lot of people are always praying to God, and I definitely say pray to God. But He always going to give you here it is. Here's that little opportunity.
Right.
Sometimes people are looking for the skies to open. Oh, here's your opportunity, right. and want to hear it vocally and see the light and the rainbows and everything shining on it and say, here, opportunity. But a lot of times He says, no, this is it. What is that? I didn't pray for that. No, yes, you did. Now you got to work it. Right. And that's what I'm trying to encourage people. Look for opportunities. Look for things that's out there that you say, you know what? If I work this, I could do my 9 to 5, work this on a part-time. Once I work this part-time, that could be that next thing. One of the people that I follow on social media, and I followed his career for a long time because he's where I'm from, is Damon John from Shark Tank. He's from Queens, just like I am. And one of the things he said, and I seen him some years ago at a conference, and one of the things he said, well, him and his partners, when they was doing FUBU, they thought they made it because they went to the conference, went to the Magic Conference in Vegas, sold about 300 units and stuff. They thought they made it. Right. But they didn't realize they had to make all this stuff and all that money was gone, right. Before they even came back home. And he said, I had to work at Red Lobster to continue to do this business. Right. So, but he knew my plan was I'm going to work at Red Lobster, for a few months, get a couple of quick checks, and then continue to do what I'm doing. That's an entrepreneur to me. Sometimes you got to do the unnecessary stuff, the necessary stuff that might be silly at the time, but that just helped me get to this point. So you have to take that risk. You got to take that opportunity, and don't be scared. Yeah, it's going to be scared at the beginning, but take the risk anyway. That's how I lost weight. I took the risk.
How did you know that Direct Cellar was that risk? That was the right opportunity for you.
From my wife. It was all because of my wife. My wife and from her girlfriends who drink to said we go to a Catholic church. It just made sense. Right. And as the industry, as this wine out industry, and I'm not the perfect wine guy. There's people that know more than me, but I know opportunity. That's my whole job. My job is not to be the wine expert. Mm-hmm. My job is to be the opportunity expert, because I'm going to show you a vehicle to help you get to where you need to go to. I'm going to learn as much as I can with wine, but this is a vehicle. Right. Millionaires, the 1%ers have multiple streams of income. Sure. This is one stream. That one stream got to lead to my next stream, to lead to my next opportunity, and lead to the next opportunity. That's how we have to be looking at things. So use, like Damon John, he used shirts that led him to music, that led him to this, then led him to this, that led him to, Shark Tank. Right. But it was the shirt vehicle that got him all started. So I'm going to use the wine vehicle, which is a $35.5 billion industry. And it's 2.8 billion direct to customers wine sales, and then on the average of $38 of people buying wine, that sounds like opportunity to me. Sure. With on top of baby boomers that's looking for ways to drink wine. That word to me, that smells opportunity. Sure. So if that's all the case, let's fall into it. And myself and whoever partners that I find in the Charlotte area, hey, let's partner up. I'll show you exactly what I do. This is how we do it. And I have fun. I just throw wine socials. Right, exactly. Hey, come to a wine social. Oh, yeah, I'll come. It's a great way to network, for sure. Yeah, it's a great work. So my socials are really for individuals like yourself who has businesses, that has cars, that's doing something, want to meet some other folks. Hey, let's do it in wine. I talk about what I got going on and go from there.
And I think a lot of listeners that have a 9 to 5 or a corporate job, they would like to leave their job at some point, but they're just afraid. What am I going to have to do in order to be a successful business owner? I'm 100% accountable now from my income stream where I wasn't before. I just had to come in, check out, punch in, punch out, whatever the case may be. What would you tell the audience was probably the hardest thing you had to do once you decided to launch Direct Cellars? There may be things that no one wants to do, but you had to do it in order to take it to the next level.
Read. One of the books that really got me into this mindset, and this was back in 2000. I've been thinking about entrepreneurship for so long. I've been in and out of different things going forward. I failed many times, and all those failures just made me, oh, okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I won't do that. But one of the books that really got me was, well, actually two. Robert Kiyosaki book, A Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was number one, and Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. You combine those, and now there's great books after that. But I think if you combine those two books, and just soak up as much as you can, and two of the stories. And I'll give you two of the stories. One from Napoleon Hill is 3 inches from gold. Because of they were some gold diggers, and they was digging for the gold. They kept going, and then at a point they quit. And the next guy came in there, started digging, and in 3 inches he found gold. Wow. How amazing is that? You're 3 inches from the pot of gold, but you gave up. So that was always my mantra. If I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna give up. Unless circumstances push me into a different direction. But for the most part, no, let's stick this out. Let's see how far this goes. Let me get to the end of the story. And the Robert Kiyosaki book, he was talking about his rich dad and his poor dad. And if you haven't read it, I recommend it. His poor dad did everything what society had told him to do. And, go to high school, go to college, get a great job, work 40 years. But at the end of the day, after his retirement, he had nothing to show for it. But society told you to do this. This is what they're telling you to do. Right. Do this. His rich dad said, no, do everything the opposite. Do everything. And he was in the 1% of the world, out in Hawaii. So when you just look at two scenarios, if you do everything what everybody else is doing, you're going to get what they have. Well, let's do what the other side is doing. What is the folks who have wealth is doing? That's what I want to know. I want to learn from you. Right. Everybody. Oh, go to college. Okay, you could go to college, but if a professor is making $80,000, how much you think he's gonna help you make? $80,000. Right. So if I'm gonna go to school, let me go to the school of Warren Buffett. You teach me. Right. Because if I do half of what you do, I'm gonna still be off better than making than $80,000. Sure. Or creator of Facebook, right? His name is slipping. Zuckerberg. What are you doing? But you tell me what you did. I want to mirror that, right? Because you are where I want to go.
So find a mentor would be a really key.
Yeah, great mentor. That's the school you want to go to. The normal school is going to teach you it's going to teach you how to work for somebody very well. 4 or 5 years of college. Oh, you can work for me because you know how to put up with the BS. Right. And you just graduated with the BS. So you can work for me all day long. That's what that tells you to do. Right. But let's think of everyone who made it. Most of them don't have college degrees. Right. But they tell you to go to school. It's just